Hello, and thank you for joining me today for this special yoga practice. Be fun, sweaty, and energetic practice we are about to do. Take a few moments here and let's get grounded. We'll start by softening our eyes, taking a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth. Sit up tall, deep breath in, out through your mouth. Sitting up just a bit taller, spine erect, palms facing down or up for receiving energy, down for feeling grounded. Inhale in and exhale out your mouth. Deep breath in, a little bit more, and out through your mouth. Breathing in normally now. Feeling ourselves grounded, feeling our yoga mat beneath us, the earth beneath us, our energies connecting, intertwining. That grounding moment of synchronicity. Another deep breath in and out through your mouth. Deep breath in, sealing the lips, and out through your nose. I invite you to meet me in a tabletop position. Stacking shoulders over wrists, hips under knees, everything in alignment. We'll begin by putting our toes together, spreading our knees as wide as a yoga mat, sitting back on our heels, arms coming forward, and forehead down to the mat. Beginning to breathe in deep here. And out through your mouth. Again, getting grounded. Putting that third eye chakra, surrendering down, opening up, sitting back on the heels just a bit more, finding some length with our arms, feeling that stretch in our back body, down in our hips, focusing on that breath as we breathe in, and again out through our mouth. I invite you to find your Ujjayi breath, tensing the muscles just a bit in the throat, constricting the breath, allowing for us to slow our breath even a little bit more. Should sound almost like waves crashing as we breathe in and out through our mouth. And then we'll pull ourselves forward with our hands, coming back into that tabletop position, stacking shoulders over wrists, hips over our knees, taking a deep breath. Inhale, dropping the belly, sending our hips up towards the sky. Exhaling, curling the spine, tucking the tail, navel in, pushing away from our yoga mat. Inhale, dropping the belly again, finding that cow pose as we look up, hips out, shoulders down our back, away from my ears. Exhale, we'll push away from our mat, tuck the tail, chin to chest. Then we'll do a few more of these at our own pace, letting your breath guide you. Drop in the belly, feeling that stretch in the abdomen, the hip area, a little bit in the shoulders. Then we'll come to stillness here. Getting adjusted a bit, we will take our right hand, flip it, palm facing up, where fingers are facing you, palm is facing up, And on the inhale, we'll squeeze, make a fist. And on the exhale, we'll release. Then we'll squeeze again, making a fist. Exhale, release, turning that elbow in, squeezing, making a fist. One more time, squeeze, hold, 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 and then release. Flipping our hand back over to our palms. Maybe taking a second to shake it out just a bit. And then we'll take our left hand, same thing, flipping our palm facing us, elbows in. Inhale, we'll squeeze. Exhale, we will release. Inhale, squeeze again. Exhale, release. Should feel that stretch in our forearms and top of our arms there. Exhale, we release. Shake it out just a bit. Placing our left hand back down to the mat. Now I invite you to take your right hand, fingers facing you, palm facing down, and begin to inhale as you take gentle circles moving one direction, still gripping the mat with our fingertips. Breathing in deep, exhaling slowly as you reverse your circle. Coming back in the opposite direction, breathing in deep here. And then exhale, we release, shake it out just a bit. And then same thing, left hand, fingers come facing you. Inhaling, making small circles. Going gentle here. Then reversing our circle. Breathing deep. And on the exhale, we release our fingers back into normal position, palms facing down. And I invite you to sit back on your heels. And just begin to shake out your wrists just a bit. Maybe make some wrist circles, clenching the fists going one direction. Breathing in deep, reversing your circle. Sitting up tall. A few more breaths in here and out. Just loosen those wrists up just a bit here, getting ready for our practice as we come back into our tabletop position. Again, keeping that integrity with our shoulders and wrists, hips over knees. On the inhale, we'll raise our right hand, gazing up at our right hand. Exhale, we will thread it through, not touching the ground. We're here for just a moment. On the inhale, we will come back up, gazing at that hand. Exhale, back down again. Still hovering as we inhale one last time. And exhale, we will thread it through, placing the shoulder on our mat. Still keeping our hips and knees in alignment. Maybe you will straighten that left leg out to the side. Maybe bring the left hand behind, finding a bind. Maybe we even lift the left leg, bending the knee, grabbing the foot or the ankle for a little quad stretch here. Breathing in deep, keeping our focus on our breath. And then exhale, we release that back down. If you felt that bind, knee coming to the mat, left hand coming to the mat. Inhale, right hand comes up, gazing at the hand, back down to your mat. Take a second if you need to readjust, making sure we keep our alignment. As we inhale, left hand comes up, following that gaze with our left hand. Exhale, we'll thread it through, hovering for just a moment. Inhaling, coming back up, gazing at that left hand. Exhale, thread it through one more time, just getting ready to settle down. So inhale, left hand comes up. Exhale, we'll thread it through. Shoulder comes to mat, keeping our hips over our knees, taking a deep breath in. Maybe we extend that right leg out. Maybe that right hand comes back for a bind. Maybe we'll lift that right leg up, grabbing the right heel, squeezing in for a quad lift, quad stretch. If you fall here, totally fine. We're finding our balance. Getting ready for this as we're warming up. And exhale, we'll release if you found the bind. Knee comes back to the mat. Inhale, left hand comes up as we gaze at the left hand and back down to our mat. Now we'll take a second and kind of work it out a little bit, maybe make some circles with our whole body, sending hips back to our heels, maybe reversing the circle, kind of loosen the body up, feeling yourself inside of your body. You controlling what's going on here, making sure we're breathing in deep and exhaling slowly, finding a little rhythm in this tabletop posture, having a little fun with it. All right, then we'll come to stillness here, keeping that integrity with our wrists and our shoulders. Elbows come in, left leg comes out as we push back on that left heel, sending our weight back into that calf muscle. Inhale, we'll come a little bit above our wrist, our shoulders above our wrists, sitting back, stretching that quad, stretching that calf muscle, little stretch in the wrist and the shoulders, still warming up the body just a bit. Breathing in deep here. Exhale, release, bringing that left knee back to the mat. Right knee comes up. Straighten that right leg up on our toes as we push back, flexing that calf. Inhale and move forward. Exhale back. You got to feel that stretch in your right foot there. Feel that stretch in your wrist and your shoulders. Keeping our fingertips gripping the mat. Just for a good stretch here, for just a moment. Breathing in deep. Exhale, we release that knee back down. Now we will come into our plank pose here. Taking a deep breath in here. Cultivating a little heat. Breathing in deep one more time. Exhale, we'll bend the knees, sit back on our toes. Exhale, we'll roll forward. Breathe in deep. Exhale, we'll roll forward. One more time, breathing in deep. Exhale, we'll roll forward, lowering our weight down to our belly, untucking the toes, coming up to our forearms or Sphinx pose. Taking a deep breath in here, gentle back bend, setting up for our chaturanga here soon. Deep breath in, feeling that stretch in the front body there, feeling it even in your lower back there. Inhale, we'll look over the right shoulder. A little gentle neck stretch there. Feel a little bit in your back. And we'll come back to center. Exhale, we'll look over the left shoulder. Inhale, back to center. Hands come under our shoulders. We curl the toes, push up into a plank. And then hips come back into our downward facing dog. Begin to pedal it out just a bit with your legs, bending one knee, bending the other. Maybe we will drop the hips to one side as you walk it out. Or maybe you'll just find stillness here, taking a deep breath in, coming into almost a V shape here. Heels do not have to come to the mat. Keeping our shoulders away from our ears as we're pushing away. Keeping our fingers curled onto our mat, gripping the mat. Inhale deep here. Exhale. Then we'll look to our hands and make a small step forward with our left foot. Small step with the right. Making small steps until we get our toes about an inch away from our back of our hands. Breathing in deep, navel to spine, almost there. And then we'll come into our forward fold. Releasing the hands from the mat, maybe grabbing opposite elbows for ragdoll. Turning to one side, to the left. Taking deep breaths in here. Feeling that stretch in our back there, keeping our navel to spine. Keeping a little flex in our quads here, protecting the back body. Breathe in deep, finding stillness. Exhale, release hands to the mat. Inhale, we'll halfway lift. Hand comes to shins or maybe to thighs, finding length in that spine. Exhale, we release back down to the mat. Inhale, coming all the way up, hands up to the sky, gazing at our hands as we interlace the fingers, except for a pointer finger, standing tall, breathing in deep, shoulders away from ears, maybe on bend back just a bit for a gentle back bend here, taking a deep breath in. Then exhale, we'll extend the hands and swan dive it down, placing both hands on the mat, stepping left foot back, right foot back, lowering down halfway, coming onto the tops of our feet, pushing up on the inhale into an upward facing dog. Exhale, meet me back in downward facing dog. All right, we'll go through that one more time. Namaskar. A. We'll look through our hands. We will slowly step, hop, or jump your way to the front of your mat into our forward fold. Inhale, we'll halfway lift. Finding our hands to our shins, maybe our thighs, finding length in that spine. Exhale, we release. Inhale, coming all the way up. Chin being the last to rise, interlacing the fingers as they come up overhead, gazing at the hands. Pointer fingers stretched above head, maybe a gentle back bend. Breathing in deep. Exhale, straighten our hands to our sides as we swan dive down. Placing both hands on the mat, stepping back into our plank pose, lowering down halfway, coming to the tops of our feet, inhaling on the upward dog. And then meet me back in downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, we'll roll forward. Exhale, we'll bend the knees, squeezing those glutes in together, squeezing the inner thighs together, still gripping that yoga mat. We'll roll forward. Taking a deep breath in here in the plank pose. Meet me back in downward facing dog. Maybe pedal out just a bit. Here, taking a few deep breaths, navel to spine. And on the inhale, we'll drop the left heel. Right leg will float up. And we'll bring knee to nose. Right knee to nose. Exhale, back up in the three-legged dog. Exhale, we'll bring knee to right shoulder or right elbow. And back up. And then exhale, we'll bring knee to left elbow and back up into our three-legged dog. And then exhale, we will step it all the way through, coming into our low lunge on the inhale. Crescent moon, keeping a generous bend in that front knee, coming up on the back of our toes, breathing in deep here. One more deep breath. Exhale, we will fold forward, sending hands behind us, gazing at the top of our feet. Inhale, we will come back up, gazing through our hands above our head. Exhale, we'll bring both hands back to the mat. Right foot steps back, lowering halfway into our upward dog on the inhale. Exhale, meet me back in downward facing dog. Good job here, guys. All right, now on the inhale, dropping the right heel, left leg comes high. Bring knee to nose. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale, back up. Bring your knee over to right elbow. And then back up. Sorry, left elbow. Then we'll bring left knee over to right elbow this time. Back up into our three-legged dog. Inhaling, exhaling as we step it through in between our hands into our low lunge. Inhale, we come up for a high lunge here. Breathing in deep, keeping a generous bend in that front knee. Exhale. One more deep breath in. Exhale, we'll fold forward, bringing hands behind us, gazing at the top of our foot. Inhale, we'll come back up, gazing through our hands, keeping our shoulders away from our ears. Exhale, we'll place both hands to the mat, bringing left leg back up to a three-legged dog, chaturanga. Inhale on the upward dog. Exhale, back in the downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in here, breathe out. One more deep breath in. Gaze in through our hands. Stop, hop, step, hop, or jump your way to the front of your mat. Coming into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we release. Inhale, coming all the way up. Bringing hands up to the top. As we take our left hand, grabbing our right wrist, bending over to the left. A gentle side bend there, spinning the chest open towards the sky. Exhale, we release. Right hand grabs left wrist, bending over to the right for a side stretch in the side body on the left side, spinning the chest open towards the sky. Inhale, we'll come back to center. Exhale, we'll bring hands to heart center. Deep breath in here. Beginning to generate some heat in the body. Maybe a little sweat on your nose there. Dropping our shoulders down, back behind our back. Then we'll bring our feet in together. Heels touching, toes touching. Dropping our hands to our side. Dropping our knees, bending our knees, dropping our hips. Inhale, we'll bring hands up for a gaze in between our hands. Or you can go straight forward. Gaze down, being able to see the tops of your feet, being able to see your toes. Coming back on the heels. Maybe we'll lift the toes, sink back a little deeper. Breathing in deep here. One more deep breath in. Exhale, we'll come to our forward fold. Stepping back into our plank pose, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back in the downward facing dog. On the inhale, we'll drop the left heel. Right leg comes up high, stepping it through into our low lunge, coming up onto tinted fingers. Deep breath in. Exhale, beginning to find that strength. As we inhale, both hands come up. Gazing through our hands here, keeping a generous bend in that front knee. Exhale, we'll turn on our back foot, keeping that bend in that knee. Arms come at a T level, gazing over that right finger, that right middle finger. Breathe in deep here. Left side of your foot should be in line with the back of your mat. Right foot should be in line with the side of your mat. Deep breath in. Then we'll flip the front palm, lean forward just a bit. His right hand comes overhead, left hand comes back behind, maybe to a shin, to our thigh, keeping that bend in the front knee. And then exhale, we'll bring right elbow to right knee. Left hand comes overhead for a side angle, extended side angle here. Breathe in deep. And then we'll pivot on the back ankle, bringing both hands above for a high lunge. Then we'll exhale, both hands back to the mat. Right leg comes back up and then down to our mat. Take a deep breath in here, pushing away from your mat. Shoulders come down the back. Heels don't have to touch the ground. Even keep a bend in those knees are okay. Inhale, dropping the right heel. Left leg comes up high. Stepping it through in between our hands. Coming up into our low lunge on tinted fingers. Gazing forward. Finding our balance, keeping our knee over our ankle. And inhale, we'll bring both hands up high, gazing through our hands, keeping that bend in the front knee, and breathing deep, squeezing in those inner hips together. And then exhale, we'll pivot on the back foot, bringing hands out to a T, into our warrior two. Gazing over our left middle finger, generous bend still in that front knee. And we'll flip the front palm over, leaning forward as we come back to a peaceful warrior. Hand comes to our thigh, maybe behind the back. Breathing in deep, spinning that chest open towards the sky. And exhale, we'll bring left knee to left elbow. Right hand comes up over high for extended side angle. Deep breath in here. Now we may be cultivating some real heat now. Remembering to focus on that breath throughout this practice. Inhale, we'll pivot on the right foot, cartwheel hands up as we gaze through our hands. Exhale, we will bring hands to the mat. Left leg comes high, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back in the downward dog. Deep breath in. Exhale. Deep breath in as we drop the right heel. Right leg comes up high, stacking the hips, getting a bend in that knee. And let's begin to make circles with our knee going one direction. Circles with our knee going the other direction. Coming back, extending that leg. And then once again, bringing knee to nose. And then we'll come back up. Then we'll bring knee to right elbow. Maybe we'll find a flight there. Coming back up to a three-legged dog. Right knee to left elbow. Extending out maybe. Coming back into our three-legged dog. Then we'll step through in between our hands, dropping the back knee, untucking the toes. Maybe we'll begin to find some gentle circles with our front hip. Maybe bringing that knee a little bit above our toes, loosening up that hip just a bit there. That right hip should feel really good right now. Then we'll extend that front leg, bending our head, forehead down to our knee, keeping a generous bend in that knee if possible, if needed. And then exhale, we'll rebend that knee. Deep breath in there, sinking the hips a bit. Feeling that stretch in that left quad there. Feel it in that right hip. Then we extend the front leg again. Forehead to knee maybe, as close as we can. It's okay if we don't make it, I don't. Totally fine. Inhale, we'll rebend that knee. Sink a little deeper in those hips. And then we'll curl the toes. Left knee raises. Right hand comes up for a twist. Over to the right. Exhale, bringing that hand forward and back down to your mat. Right leg comes high. Head back down to our mat for downward facing dog. Breathe in deep here. Exhale. On the inhale, we'll drop that right heel. Left leg comes high. Stacking the hips, bending that left knee. We'll begin to make circles going in one direction, loosening that hip. Reversing our circle. Opening that hip up. And then we'll exhale, bring knee to nose. Then back up into a three-legged dog. Left knee to left ankle or left forearm. Maybe we'll find a flight. Then back up. And then left knee over to right elbow. Maybe extending that leg. Then back up into a three-legged dog. Stepping it through for low lunge, dropping that back knee, untucking the toes. Beginning to make gentle circles with our left hip. Sinking the hips. Opening that hip up. Breathing in deep here. Maybe reversing your circle. Just loosening that hip up for a bit here. We gotta have some really good heat generated in the body now. Then we'll straighten that front left leg. Maybe forehead comes to knee. Maybe we'll keep a bend in that front leg. Totally fine. Just want to feel that stretch in our hamstrings down into our calf, flexing the front foot, protecting that knee. And exhale, we'll come forward, sinking the hips. Maybe the knee comes above or in front of our toes just a bit, which is fine since we don't have any weight bearing down on that knee. Normally, we want to be able to see our toes at all times. And then we'll exhale, extend that front leg for again, forehead down to knee, keeping toes flexed. Exhale, we'll come back up one more time, sink in that hip just a bit for a deeper stretch in that right quad. Then we'll come up to toes, right knee comes high, left arm comes up for a twist, and then back down to our mat. Left leg comes high, chaturanga. Inhale on the upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing in deep. Exhale. Then let's drop to our knees here. Let's take a breath. Open the knees as wide as a yoga mat. Sinking hips back, coming into our child's pose. Coming back to that breath, resetting for just a bit. Deep breath in. We're just here for a couple breaths just to reset. Then make your way back up into tabletop position. Curling the toes, extending the feet, the legs. In our plank position, breathing in deep. Pushing the hips back. Meet me in a downward facing dog. Inhale, we'll look between our hands. Hop, step, or jump your way to the front of your mat. Into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Bringing our feet together. Heel toe our feet in together with big toes are touching, heels are touching. Or find a bend in our knee. As we inhale, we raise our hands up, sitting back into our chair pose. Sink the hips just a bit, keeping a generous bend in those knees. Look down, see your toes. Then we'll bring hands to heart center. Deep breath in. Deep breath as we take left elbow over to right knee for a twisted chair. Deep breath in. Maybe right hand comes to the ground. Left hand comes up overhead. And then we'll exhale back into our chair pose. Deep breath in, sitting up a little taller, sinking back in those hips, maybe raising our toes off the mat. Inhale, exhale, we're back into our forward fold, stepping back into with our left foot, back in the right foot, chaturanga, back up. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale back in the downward dog. Looking forward through our hands, hop, step, or jump your way to the front of your mat for a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we release, heel toeing our feet together, preparing for our chair pose. Inhale, breathe out. Inhale, bending the knees, sitting back on our heels, hips are down, gazing through our hands. Deep breath in, maybe toes come off the mat. And we'll bring hands to heart center. Inhale and exhale, bring in right elbow to left knee. As they meet, maybe right hand comes to ground, left hand comes up overhead. Then we'll exhale, bringing our hands back in the chair. into prayer pose, sinking back on those hips. Maybe toes come up off the mat. Breathing in deep here and exhaling through our mouth. Inhale, we'll come up into a forward fold, placing both hands to the mat, stepping back into plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Maybe pedal it out just a bit. Finding stillness, we will drop the left heel, right leg comes up high, stepping it through, coming up into a warrior two, pivoting on that back foot. Hands come at a T, squeezing those hips, generous bend in that front knee, making sure it's stacked over your heel and over your ankle. Hands up high, checking that alignment. Flipping the palm over, leaning forward, coming back into our peaceful warrior. Spreading the chest open, breathing deep. And then we'll extend that front leg. Bring both hands down beside our knee on both sides of the leg on tipped fingers as we forward fold into a triangle pose. Breathe in deep. And then we will pivot on that back foot, coming back into a low lunge. Maybe bring your hands forward just a bit, stepping back into plank, and then we'll go right back into a downward facing dog. Skip chaturanga that time. Inhale, dropping the right heel, left leg comes up high, stepping it through in between our hands, cartwheeling up into our warrior two, keeping a generous bend in that front knee, back knee in line with the back of the mat, hands at a T, gazing over that middle finger. Just checking all our points there, knee over ankle, generous bend. Our feet are in alignment, hands up tall. Then inhale, we'll flip that hand, leaning forward, coming back into our peaceful warrior. Straightening the front leg, cartwheeling our hands, bringing our hands beside our leg into a forward fold. Deep breath in here, feeling that stretch. Maybe in your shin and then your calf. Breathing in deep here. Pivoting on that back foot, finding that bend. Maybe we place our hands back beside our foot for a little adjustment. Left leg comes up high. And then back down to our mat for a downward facing dog. Inhale, breathe deep. Exhale, hop, step, or jump your way to the front of your mat. Spreading our feet as wide as a yoga mat, maybe a little wider. And then we will drop our booties back down to our heels, coming into a malasana. Hips come to heels as maybe come to prayer. Maybe you're up on your toes. Maybe your feet are flat. Either variation is okay. Deep breath in here and out through your mouth. Dropping left hand to the ground as right hand comes up. As we gaze at our right hand above. Exhale back to the mat. Left hand comes up as we gaze with a twist here. Then back down to our mat. Breathe in deep here. Exhale. Inhale, we will come to a forward fold. Heel tugging the feet in actually bring the feet in all the way touching. Deep breath in as we halfway lift. Exhale, we release. Deep breath as we bring our hands up, sitting back into our chair pose. Gazing through the hands, sitting back on those heels, toes come ahead. Exhale, forward fold. Bringing our left leg back to plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back in the downward dog. Again, bringing knees to the mat. Sitting back on our heels, coming on to our sits bones, extending the legs out forward. Maybe a small bend in the knees, flexing the feet, sitting up tall. Inhale, hands come up above. Exhale, we'll fold forward for a seated forward fold or caterpillar pose. Maybe you'll grab the tops of the feet. Maybe you'll grab the shins. Whatever is available to you today. Taking a few deep breaths in here. Deep breath in. Exhale, we will release. Bringing that right foot into the inside of our knee. The inside of our leg. Maybe beside the knee, maybe a little bit in the inner thigh. Flexing that front leg. Sitting up tall and begin to turn to where you are parallel in front of your body. Left leg is out front. Right knee is at a great bend with in line with your hip. Taking your left hand, grabbing your right knee. And right nail comes up overhead, grabbing energy as we bend over, maybe catching a knee, catching a shin, maybe catching the toes, spinning the chest open. Should feel good in the side body right here. Maybe keeping the bend in that front knee. Breathing in deep. Exhale, we release. Extending that front leg coming from that bind. Left foot comes to inside of thigh. Turning to face the inside of our body there. Right hand grabs left knee. Right hand comes overhead, grabbing energy, bending over to the right as we grab maybe our knee or a shin. Maybe we can reach our toes on this side, spinning our chest open towards the sky, breathing in deep. Exhale, deep breath in. Exhale, we release. Extending both legs, coming back to lay down on our backs. Bringing both knees into chest. Maybe rock to side for a gentle back massage. Still remembering to breathe. And then extending the left leg will bring right knee into our chest a little bit more. Taking our left hand and bringing that right knee over to our left side. Extending the right hand out, maybe. Maybe we'll bring it to cactus arms. Maybe the gaze comes over the right shoulder. Feeling this great supine twist over to your left. Deep breath in. One more deep breath. Exhale, we will come back to knee to chest. Breathing in deep as we switch. Left knee comes in the chest, right leg extends, bringing that knee in the chest just a bit more as we take right hand, bringing left knee over our body for a supine twist. Maybe left hand comes out extended. Maybe we cactus that arm. You look over the left shoulder if that's available to you today. Maybe noticing how one side is a little bit stiffer than the other side. Apparently here. Deep breath in. One more deep breath in. Exhale, we'll bring both knees back into chest. Squeeze deep here. And then we'll exhale, bringing knees out straight. Coming into a Shavasana. Maybe legs come out wide. Allow the feet to fall open. Hands facing up, or maybe hands to your belly, one hand to heart, taking a few moments to rest. My favorite pose in yoga. After generating that heat and generating that energy, remembering that the body needs movement, the mind needs stillness. Now that we've been moving our body and keeping our mind still, let's continue that with this very, very important pose here. We'll take a deep breath in. We're starting to bring awareness back to your body. Maybe you wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Maybe you're bringing the knees in as you lay over to your favorite side. Taking your time, meeting your way back up into a seated position. Bringing hands to heart center. Maybe your eyes are still closed. A big smile on your face. Being grateful for the opportunity that you had today and being grateful for yourself for making this time. Thank you for joining me today for this practice. Deep breath in and out. One more deep breath in and out. Again, thank you. And now the yoga begins. Namaste.